Throughout history, the conversion of powerful royal figures to Catholicism has often been a decisive moment that changed the course of nations. What would compel these royal figures, with all their authority, to embrace a faith that not only transformed their personal lives but also had the power to reshape entire societies? These figures were not just political leaders but spiritual ones who deeply influenced the cultural and religious identity of their nations. Their conversions were monumental acts that not only impacted their kingdoms but also played a key role in the spread of Catholicism across regions. So, who were these influential royal figures, and what lasting impact did their conversions have on their people and the Church? And now here are the 15 royal figures who converted to Catholicism. Number 1, Queen Victoria. Eugenie de Battenberg of Spain, granddaughter of Queen Victoria of England, stands as a remarkable example of faith's transformative power. Born into the Anglican faith, she was deeply embedded in the royal traditions of England. Yet her journey took an unexpected turn when she married King Alfonso XIII of Spain, a devout Catholic. As the royal couple navigated the challenges of their marriage and public life, Queen Victoria Eugenie was drawn into the depths of the Catholic faith. Her conversion was not a mere change in religious affiliation, but a profound spiritual awakening. Her decision to embrace Catholicism was not without struggle. As a royal figure, she faced immense pressure from both her English heritage and the Spanish monarchy. The emotional turmoil and spiritual conflicts she experienced were, in many ways, a crisis of identity, caught between two worlds, neither of which fully accepted her. It was through personal reflection and deep, earnest prayer that she encountered the rich history, profound theology, and personal intimacy of the Catholic Church. Her conversion process was slow but steadfast. She encountered numerous difficulties, both in terms of her own understanding of the faith and in how others reacted to her decision. Her family and friends were deeply unsettled by her change in belief. Yet, with the support of the Catholic community, particularly the prayers and guidance of spiritual mentors, she was strengthened in her new path. After her conversion, Queen Victoria Eugenie's life changed in ways she could never have anticipated. The inner peace and spiritual fulfillment she found in Catholicism gave her the strength to endure the many trials of her royal responsibilities. More importantly, her faith became a beacon of hope to those who saw her as a symbol of perseverance and grace. Through her story, we see that conversion is not simply a religious change, it is a profound transformation that touches every aspect of life, leading to a deeper understanding of God's love, forgiveness, and guidance. Queen Victoria Eugenie's journey of faith continues to inspire all who seek a closer walk with Christ. Number 2, the conversion of Princess Charlène of Monaco. A journey of faith and transformation. In 2011, Princess Charlène of Monaco made a life-changing decision. She embraced the Catholic faith before marrying Prince Albert II. Known for her grace and beauty, Princess Charlène's story is not just about royal duties, but a deeply personal spiritual transformation. Before her conversion, Charlène was raised in a Protestant family in South Africa. She was immersed in a culture that was shaped by the beliefs and values of her upbringing, but as she grew older, she began to feel a deep yearning for something more. Her faith, though genuine, felt incomplete, an unease within her spirit, which only grew more pronounced as she approached adulthood. The pivotal moment came as she entered into a serious relationship with Prince Albert. Through her growing bond with him and his family, she encountered the Catholic Church in a way that had never resonated with her before. The beauty of the Church's teachings on grace, salvation, and the sacraments began to unfold in her heart. She found herself captivated by the mystery of Christ's presence in the Eucharist, the sacred traditions of the Church, and the spiritual richness of Catholicism. However, the road to conversion was not without its challenges. She faced resistance and skepticism from some friends and family who questioned her decision to embrace a faith so different from her Protestant roots. At times, she felt isolated in her journey, yet through prayer and guidance from spiritual mentors, she found strength in the love of God and the support of the church community. Since her conversion, Princess Charlène has experienced profound peace and transformation. Her faith has deepened, and she has become an advocate for the values of the Catholic Church, bringing light and hope to others. Her story is a powerful reminder that God's grace can touch anyone, no matter their background or station in life. Through her journey, Charlène inspires those who seek a deeper connection with God, showing that conversion is not just a change in religion, it is a profound encounter with Christ that can transform the heart and soul. Number 3. Katharine, Duchess of Kent, a woman whose life has been intertwined with both the British royal family and the Catholic faith, serves as a powerful example of the transformative power of conversion. Born in 1933 as Catherine Worsley, she was raised in the Church of England, a faithful member of the Anglican tradition, and later became the wife of Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent. For much of her life, she lived within the structures of the Anglican faith, accustomed to its teachings and practices. But as with many journeys of faith, her life took a significant turn when she began to feel a spiritual void that could not be filled by Anglicanism alone. The catalyst for her conversion came in 1994, after a period of personal reflection and spiritual searching. Katharine faced deep questions about her life, her faith, and her relationship with God. It was during this time that she encountered the Catholic Church, drawn in by its rich history, its reverence for tradition, and the spiritual fulfillment it offered. Her decision was not a spontaneous one, but the result of years of grappling with her beliefs, finding herself in spiritual crisis, and yearning for something more profound. Her conversion was not without its difficulties. The Duchess faced criticism from both her family and the broader public, many of whom were deeply entrenched in the Anglican tradition. Yet, despite these external pressures, Katharine remained steadfast in her decision, seeking solace in the Catholic community, which welcomed her with open arms. Her faith journey was not without trials, but through it she found a new sense of peace and purpose in Christ. Katharine's conversion story speaks volumes about the power of God's grace to transform hearts and lives. Her embrace of Catholicism brought about a profound spiritual renewal, drawing her closer to Christ and inspiring others to consider their own spiritual journeys. Through her story, we are reminded that the path of conversion is one of deep personal transformation, one that, when embraced with an open heart, leads to a deeper relationship with God and a more fulfilling life. Number 4. In 2001, Nicholas Windsor, the youngest son of Prince Edward of the British royal family, made a significant personal decision that would alter the course of his life. Born into a lineage rooted in Anglicanism, Nicholas was raised within the traditions of the Church of England. However, his journey toward Catholicism was not without its challenges. His early years were steeped in the royal ethos, where public duty and family expectations often took precedence. Yet, amid these expectations, he found himself struggling with a deep spiritual yearning, one that would ultimately lead him to abandon his claim to the throne in favor of embracing the Catholic faith. The path to his conversion was deeply personal and transformative. His decision was influenced by several key events in his life, particularly a growing dissatisfaction with the Anglican tradition, which left him questioning the fullness of the Christian faith. He was drawn to the Catholic Church's teachings on the sacraments, the communion of saints, and the authority of the Pope. The tipping point came when he began to develop a relationship with a Catholic priest who would serve as a guide during his spiritual awakening. This relationship provided him with a deeper understanding of the richness of Catholic doctrine and the historical continuity that the Church maintained through the centuries. However, the process of conversion was far from easy. Nicholas faced immense pressure from his family and the royal community, who were not only shocked by his decision, but also deeply disappointed by his choice to renounce his royal birthright. The conflict within his family was profound, and he grappled with feelings of isolation and uncertainty. Nevertheless, his newfound faith provided him with peace and direction, helping him navigate the tumultuous waters of his transformation. Today, Nicholas Windsor's life reflects the profound changes that his conversion brought. It gave him spiritual fulfillment and a renewed sense of purpose. His decision to embrace the Catholic faith serves as an inspiring example of personal conviction and the courage to follow one's spiritual calling despite the cost. For those seeking a path of spiritual renewal, his story offers a message of faith, perseverance, and the transformative power of embracing truth. His journey is a testament to the idea that sometimes following the call of God requires great sacrifice, but the rewards are immeasurable. Number 5, Princess Alexandra von Hanover of Monaco, daughter of Prince George von Hanover, and Princess Caroline, made a profound and brave decision in 2018 to convert from Protestantism to Catholicism. This move, though deeply personal, had far-reaching implications, most notably her exclusion from the British royal succession list, a sacrifice she willingly accepted in order to follow her newfound faith. Before her conversion, Princess Alexandra lived in a world steeped in Protestant traditions. She was raised in an environment where her spiritual identity was shaped by the principles of the Church of England, which, though rich in history, did not fulfill the deep spiritual longing she began to feel. This longing was exacerbated by a period of personal crisis, a time when the pressures of public life and her own inner struggles led her to question her religious path. In her search for answers, she encountered Catholicism, a faith that to her seemed to provide the spiritual depth and the answers to her existential questions. Her journey toward Catholicism was neither swift nor easy. It was a gradual process marked by deep study and reflection. As she immersed herself in Catholic teachings, she began to see the world through a new lens, one that emphasized the importance of tradition, the sacraments, and the unbroken continuity of the Church through the ages. Her understanding of faith evolved, and she felt a sense of spiritual fulfillment that she had never experienced before. However, the path of conversion was not without challenges. The response from her family and royal circles was less than supportive. She faced emotional turmoil, including feelings of isolation and the weight of public scrutiny. But through it all, she found strength in her new faith and the support of the Catholic community, which welcomed her with open arms and offered the guidance she needed. After her conversion, Princess Alexandra experienced a profound transformation in her life. Spiritually, she found peace and a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges she faced before her conversion no longer defined her, and she was able to embrace her new identity with a deep sense of joy and fulfillment. Her relationship with her family and the public also began to shift as she became more rooted in her faith. Her story is one of resilience and courage. Princess Alexandra's conversion serves as an inspiring reminder that true faith often requires sacrifice, but it also brings with it a peace that surpasses understanding. She is an example for those seeking spiritual change, demonstrating the transformative power of faith, love, and forgiveness. Through her example, she encourages others to pursue their own spiritual journeys, reminding us all that God's love is always available to those who seek it with an open heart. Number 6. King Charles II of England, who reigned from 1660 until his death in 1685, is a figure whose late conversion to Catholicism speaks volumes about the profound mystery of God's grace. Born in 1630, Charles was raised in the turbulent context of English Protestantism, having been baptized as a member of the Church of England. Throughout his life, he maintained a complicated relationship with faith, struggling to balance the demands of monarchy with his own religious inclinations. As king, he was outwardly aligned with Anglicanism, yet privately, the seeds of conversion were planted within him over time. The turning point came in the final days of his life. Charles had endured the political and personal turmoil of his reign, including the execution of his father, King Charles I, and the subsequent chaos of the English Civil War. In the midst of illness and with death drawing near, Charles began to reassess his spiritual journey. What had been a political allegiance to Anglicanism was transformed into a heartfelt desire for the true faith. This shift was not a simple one. Charles faced immense pressure from family, friends, and even political advisors to remain Protestant, yet the Holy Spirit worked in his soul, moving him toward the fullness of truth found in the Catholic Church. Charles's conversion was not a mere formality, it was a deeply transformative process. In his final days, he received the sacraments of the Catholic Church, embracing the faith with a contrite heart. This act of conversion, though marked by immense personal struggle, became a testament to the power of divine mercy. In his death, Charles became an inspiration to others, demonstrating the possibility of redemption even in the final moments of life. His journey challenges us to reflect on our own faith journeys, reminding us that God's grace is always at work, calling us home. King Charles II's conversion encourages us to persevere in faith, no matter the challenges or the doubts we may face, knowing that the Lord's love is greater than any obstacle. Number 7. Queen Christina of Sweden is a figure whose conversion to Catholicism is both dramatic and inspiring. Born in 1626, Christina ascended to the Swedish throne at just 6 years old, a rare and remarkable achievement for a woman of that time. Raised in a Protestant environment, Christina's early life was steeped in the religious and political turmoil of 17th century Europe, where Catholicism and Protestantism were often at odds. Despite being raised in the Lutheran faith, Christina was curious and open to the deeper mysteries of spirituality, which eventually led her to seek a more profound understanding of the truth. Her conversion was not an overnight event. Christina's decision to abandon her crown at the age of 24, forsaking the throne to embrace Catholicism, came after years of spiritual unrest and intellectual searching. Her conversion was motivated by a deep dissatisfaction with the religious limitations of her Lutheran upbringing. Surrounded by a predominantly Protestant court and faced with political pressure, she nevertheless found the Catholic faith to offer a more compelling answer to her questions about salvation and the nature of truth. It was through her encounters with Catholic intellectuals, including the Jesuit priest Antonio Macedo, that she felt led to explore the deeper mysteries of the Church. The process of conversion was not without its challenges. Christina faced immense pressure from her family, her kingdom, and the Lutheran Church, which regarded her decision as both scandalous and traitorous. Her isolation in Rome, where she lived after abdicating the throne, became a place of both spiritual renewal and profound loneliness. Yet, through the support of the Catholic community, she found strength to persevere. Her faith transformed her life, offering a sense of peace and fulfillment that had eluded her during her reign. Christina's conversion serves as an example of how the journey of faith is often marked by inner conflict and external opposition. Yet in embracing Catholicism, she found a source of peace and purpose that changed her life and left an indelible mark on the world. Her story reminds us that conversion is not just a personal act, but a journey that can inspire others to seek truth and divine peace, even amidst adversity. Number 8. Queen Elizabeth of Belgium, a story of conversion and cultural impact. Queen Elizabeth of Belgium, born into a Protestant family in Germany became a prominent figure in Belgium not only for her royal duties, but also for her deep spiritual transformation. Before her marriage to King Albert I of Belgium, Elizabeth was raised in the Reformed Church, a faith that was deeply embedded in her family's history. Like many in her position, she was accustomed to the secular life of royalty, where religion was often seen as a distant obligation rather than a personal calling. However, upon her marriage, Elizabeth's relationship with Catholicism began to deepen. The Catholic faith of her husband and the royal family's strong ties to the Church of Rome slowly drew her into a spiritual journey she had never anticipated. The turning point came in the midst of personal trials, particularly during the turbulent early years of her marriage. Struggling with the challenges of her new royal responsibilities and a growing inner conflict over her own spiritual identity, Elizabeth began to search for a deeper meaning in life, something her previous faith could not offer. Her conversion process was neither simple nor immediate. It was a gradual unfolding of divine grace. She encountered Catholic teachings through her husband, the Belgian court, and the many priests and theologians who guided her along the way. Elizabeth's journey was filled with both intellectual and spiritual discovery, and it brought with it a profound sense of peace and purpose. It was not without difficulty as she faced opposition from some family members and friends who struggled to understand her decision to leave behind her Protestant roots. But through the support of the Catholic community, Elizabeth found a renewed sense of faith. Her conversion not only transformed her spiritually but also had a lasting impact on her role as queen. She became a strong patron of the arts and culture in Belgium, using her newfound faith to guide her philanthropic efforts. Her story is a powerful reminder of the transformative power of the Catholic Church and the courage it takes to embrace a new path when called by God. Through her conversion, Elizabeth of Belgium exemplifies how faith can bring inner peace and direct one to a higher purpose, inspiring others to follow the light of truth, even when it leads them into new and challenging territories. Number 9. Queen Maria, Christina of Austria. A journey of faith and transformation. Maria Christina of Austria, the wife of King Alfonso XII of Spain, stands as a shining example of faith and transformation. Born into the royal family of Austria, she was raised in a Protestant environment, surrounded by a world that did not fully embrace the rich traditions of the Catholic Church. Her early life, though marked by privilege, was also shaped by the coldness of a religion that did not fully satisfy her deepest spiritual longings. Her decision to convert to Catholicism before her marriage was not just a change of religion, it was a profound encounter with the truth of the gospel. At a time when her life was poised for a marriage that would unite two powerful monarchies, Maria Christina found herself at a crossroads. The journey toward conversion was not one of mere intellectual assent, but was born from a deep spiritual hunger. Through the counsel of trusted spiritual guides and the witness of devout Catholics around her, she came to see the Catholic faith not just as a set of doctrines, but as the living tradition that connects all Christians to Christ and His Church. The conversion process was not without its challenges. Maria Christina faced resistance from her family and those around her, who viewed her decision with skepticism and even disdain. There was also the deep internal struggle between the world she knew and the new path she was choosing. Yet, in the quietude of prayer and reflection, she came to understand that the Church was not just an institution, but the very body of Christ, holding the fullness of truth. After her conversion, Maria Christina's life took on a new direction. She devoted herself to charity and education, making a profound impact in Spain. Her faith was no longer merely a private matter, but a public witness that inspired others to seek the truth of the gospel. Maria Christina's story serves as a powerful reminder that faith, when nurtured in the heart and soul, can transform not just individuals, but entire communities. Her journey from Protestantism to Catholicism is a testimony to the grace of God, calling us all to embrace the fullness of truth, no matter the cost. Number 10. Queen Farida of Egypt, the first wife of King Farouk I, stands as a remarkable example of personal transformation and spiritual rebirth. Born in 1933 in Alexandria, Farida was raised in the Coptic Orthodox tradition, a faith that shaped much of her early life. Surrounded by the rich history and ancient customs of Egypt, her religious identity was rooted in a deeply spiritual environment, yet one that would eventually evolve as she encountered a new spiritual path. Farida's conversion was not a decision made lightly. The end of her marriage to King Farouk marked a pivotal moment in her life, one that left her searching for a deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment. Faced with personal struggles and emotional turmoil, she began questioning her beliefs. Her search for answers led her to explore the Catholic faith, where she encountered not only theological truths, but a profound sense of peace and clarity that resonated deeply within her soul. Her journey into Catholicism was a process of gradual discovery. As Farida delved into the teachings of the Church, she experienced a spiritual awakening that transformed her life. The doctrines of Catholicism offered her a sense of stability and belonging, while the community of believers provided her with much-needed support. It was through this nurturing environment that she embraced her new faith, finding a sense of security and purpose she had never known before. Yet the path of conversion was not without its challenges. Farida faced harsh criticism and rejection from her family and community, which clung to their Coptic Orthodox roots. The journey was lonely at times, and the emotional toll was undeniable. However, her faith never wavered, and over time she found a new sense of peace and fulfillment. Her conversion to Catholicism was not just a personal transformation, it served as an inspiration to others. Farida's life story is a testament to the power of faith, the beauty of spiritual rebirth, and the importance of never giving up on the search for truth. Her life encourages us to remain steadfast, embrace God's love, and be open to the transformative power of His grace. Number 11. The conversion of Queen Soraya. A journey of faith and renewal. Queen Soraya of Iran, once the second wife of Shah Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, led a life of both luxury and turmoil. Born into the aristocratic class of Iran, she was raised in an environment that espoused the values of the royal court, an environment deeply rooted in Persian tradition, politics, and a form of spiritual detachment. Initially, Soraya's faith was aligned with the traditional Islamic practices of her homeland, but her life was marked by a search for a deeper, more personal peace. Her conversion to Catholicism was not a sudden event, but the culmination of a profound spiritual journey. Before embracing Christianity, Soraya faced a series of personal and emotional crises that prompted a re-evaluation of her beliefs. Her divorce from the Shah, the collapse of her royal status, and a period of intense loneliness in the wake of her exile to Europe created a perfect storm for soul-searching. It was during this time that she encountered the love and truth of Christ, primarily through the influence of Catholic friends and the support of a compassionate religious community. Her inner turmoil and the brokenness of her past life opened the door for grace to enter, and she found herself drawn to the Catholic faith's emphasis on mercy, forgiveness, and spiritual renewal. The process of conversion was not easy. Soraya faced opposition from her family and from those who still held ties to the royal family's Muslim traditions. She wrestled with the challenge of reconciling her past with the new identity she was forging in Christ. Yet through this struggle she found peace. The Catholic faith offered her the stability and love she had longed for, transforming her into a woman of deep devotion. After her conversion, Soraya found new meaning in her life. Her commitment to her faith became her guiding light, and she dedicated her life to spreading the message of Christ's love and forgiveness. Her story is a powerful testimony to the transformative power of God's grace, showing how even those who have lived in the highest echelons of society can experience a radical reawakening through the love of Christ. Her journey continues to inspire those who feel lost or broken, reminding us that the path of faith, though challenging, leads to eternal peace. Number 12. Queen Michiko of Japan, the wife of Emperor Akihito, presents a compelling story of faith, transformation, and devotion. Raised in a Catholic family, Michiko's early life was steeped in the values of the Church. She attended Catholic schools, and despite her immersion in Catholic teachings, her life path was destined to intertwine with Shintoism, the traditional religion of Japan, following her marriage into the royal family. This unique duality of belief systems would shape her spiritual journey, one that would be characterized by both tension and grace. Before her conversion, Queen Michiko lived in a world where Catholicism provided a foundation for her moral and ethical beliefs. However, as she entered the imperial family, she found herself surrounded by Shinto practices and rituals. The weight of tradition and the sacred role she was to assume within the Japanese monarchy brought with it the need to honor and practice the faith of her new family. Michiko's conversion was not born from a crisis of faith, but from the pressing need to reconcile the spiritual and religious spheres of her life. What led Michiko to embrace Shintoism was the delicate balance between her Catholic upbringing and the imperial duties she inherited. It was not a renouncement of her Catholic faith, but rather an embrace of the rituals and sacred obligations of her role as empress. The process of conversion was not instantaneous but gradual, allowing her to merge her deep spiritual roots with the traditions she was now called to represent. This experience led to a profound internal transformation, where she navigated the tension between two worldviews with remarkable grace and humility. Despite the challenges of being a Catholic in a Shinto-dominant culture, Michiko found strength in her deep faith and commitment to love and understanding. The support from her faith community allowed her to continue her spiritual journey, albeit in a more private and personal manner. The Queen's story offers a message of faith's adaptability, teaching us that spiritual growth often requires finding harmony in the face of external pressures. Her journey is a testament to the beauty of spiritual resilience and the power of faith to guide us through life's most challenging transitions. Queen Michiko's story resonates as a reminder that conversion is not merely an outward change, but a profound internal transformation that affects both the individual and their community. Number 13. Queen Adelaide of Luxembourg's conversion to Catholicism is a powerful testimony to the transformative power of faith. Born into a Protestant family, Adelaide lived a life deeply rooted in the traditions of her upbringing. As the wife of Grand Duke Adolphe of Luxembourg, she was thrust into the complexities of royal life. Despite her Protestant background, her new role as a Catholic consort soon led her to confront the limits of her religious convictions and the spiritual void she felt in her personal life. The catalyst for Adelaide's conversion was not a single event, but rather a series of personal and spiritual challenges. Struggling with inner turmoil, she began seeking answers, looking beyond the confines of Protestantism. Her spiritual journey was influenced profoundly by her exposure to the Catholic faith, particularly through her husband and the royal circle in Luxembourg. The teachings of the Church, with its rich tradition of charity, community, and sacrament, resonated deeply with her. Her initial encounters with Catholicism were not merely intellectual but deeply spiritual. She felt a call to embrace a faith that was deeply rooted in the historical and mystical life of the Church. The process of conversion was not easy for Adelaide. There were numerous obstacles along the way, including the resistance of her Protestant family, who viewed her decision as a betrayal of her heritage. But with the support of her husband Adolf and the Luxembourg Catholic community, Adelaide pressed on. She embarked on a thorough study of Catholic doctrine, attended Mass, and engaged with priests who guided her through her spiritual rebirth. The moment of baptism was a profound turning point, a moment of deep peace that signaled the beginning of a new spiritual life. Life after her conversion brought about significant personal transformation. Adelaide's moral and spiritual outlook shifted, reflecting a newfound commitment to faith, charity, and community. She became a fervent supporter of social causes, dedicating herself to charitable work in Luxembourg. Her conversion also brought peace and fulfillment as she realized that her life had gained new purpose and direction through the embrace of Catholicism. Queen Adelaide's journey of faith is an inspiring story for all who seek a deeper connection with God. Her example speaks to the power of love, forgiveness, and the unwavering call to seek truth, even when it requires great personal sacrifice. Through her transformation, she not only found peace for herself, but also became a beacon of hope and inspiration for others, demonstrating the profound impact of conversion on both the individual and the community. Number 14. Queen Augusta of Portugal, the wife of King Manuel II, is a remarkable figure whose spiritual journey reveals the profound power of faith and conversion. Born into a Protestant background, she was raised in a world far removed from Catholicism. Her early life was shaped by Protestant beliefs, and like many, she lived in a society where religious divisions were stark and deep. Yet despite her upbringing, she found herself drawn to the Catholic faith, a decision that would not only change her own life but also deeply influence her nation. The turning point in Queen Augusta's spiritual journey came during a period of personal and emotional crisis. She was at a crossroads in her life, struggling to reconcile her personal beliefs with the deep spiritual void she felt. It was in this moment of turmoil that she encountered Catholicism, not as a distant theology, but as a living faith vibrant with the love and grace of Christ. Her eventual conversion was not an overnight decision, but a gradual transformation marked by intense spiritual reflection and prayer. Her process of conversion was supported by a Catholic community that offered her guidance and wisdom during this profound change. As she embraced the Church, Queen Augusta underwent a deep spiritual renewal, which led to significant changes in her behavior, actions, and relationships. Her newfound faith gave her strength, and her moral compass shifted, leading her to engage in charitable works and to prioritize education in Portugal. However, her conversion was not without its challenges. She faced resistance from those close to her and was subject to social and political pressures. Yet through it all, she remained steadfast in her belief, finding peace in her new identity as a Catholic. In the years that followed, Queen Augusta became a beacon of hope and inspiration for others, demonstrating how the embrace of faith can bring about profound transformation. Her life stands as a testament to the power of conversion, and her story continues to inspire those seeking spiritual fulfillment and a deeper connection with God. Number 15. In the context of spiritual conversion, we often hear stories of profound transformation. One such story is that of Maria Feodorovna, the wife of Tsar Alexandra III of Russia. Born in Denmark as Princess Dagmar, she was raised in a Protestant family. Her early life was steeped in the traditions of Lutheranism, yet her path would soon lead her to a profound spiritual transformation. Before her marriage, Maria's decision to convert to Russian Orthodoxy was driven by both personal and cultural factors. She was deeply influenced by her future husband's faith, as well as the significance of her role within the Russian Empire. The pressures of becoming the Empress of Russia and the moral responsibility she felt as a consort led her to seek a deeper spiritual connection with God something that transcended the faith of her upbringing. Her conversion to Orthodoxy was not just a mere shift in religious affiliation, it was a profound reshaping of her identity. The process of her conversion was not without struggles. Maria faced significant internal and external challenges as she navigated the waters of religious transition. The emotional turbulence she experienced was matched only by the resistance she encountered from some members of her family and peers who questioned her decision. Yet through her faith, she found strength to persevere. The Orthodox Christian community in Russia played a pivotal role in her journey, offering support, guidance, and a sense of belonging during her spiritual rebirth. Once converted, Maria's life was marked by a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. She embraced her role as Empress with a deep sense of responsibility and compassion, especially towards the impoverished and suffering of Russia. Her charitable work became one of her defining legacies, and her spiritual journey served as an inspiration to many, showcasing the power of faith in overcoming adversity. Maria Feodorovna's conversion is a testament to the transformative power of faith. It speaks to the deep-seated need within every soul to find truth and peace, even amid overwhelming personal and societal pressures. Her story is a message of perseverance, of seeking higher meaning, and of the spiritual renewal that can arise from embracing a new faith. The conversions of these royal figures to Catholicism were not simply individual acts of faith, but monumental moments in history that shaped the destiny of entire nations. Their decisions to embrace Catholicism were not only spiritual transformations, but also acts of political courage that often brought about profound changes in their societies. These conversions sparked waves of religious and cultural shifts, influencing generations and strengthening the Catholic Church's presence across the world. As we reflect on their journeys, we see the power of faith to transcend boundaries, heal divisions, and inspire generations to come. If you've been inspired by the profound stories of these royal conversions and want to explore more about the intersection of faith and history, don't forget to subscribe to Compatibility World. Join us as we continue to dive into the powerful testimonies and events that have shaped the course of spiritual and worldly history. Click the bell icon so you never miss a video, and share your thoughts in the comments below.